This video is on preparing your clay for the wheel, making balls of clay from the bag of clay that you have, which usually comes in a block. So, open up your bag of clay, and the clay that you have comes in blocks. So you have a rectangular shape that you have to make into small pieces of clay that are round and ball shaped. To do that, there's a way that's harder and a way that's easier. The harder way is to cut the piece into slabs, flat pieces, and fold over the clay into balls. So if you fold over the clay, one problem you might encounter is air trapped in where you're folding over the clay to make a ball. Air is not our friend when we are doing ceramics, and especially on the wheel. A piece of air inside reacts differently than clay that is solid. And so your strength doesn't transfer correctly, and you'll have a difficult time learning how to center and doing all the parts of throwing. So the correct way is to cut the piece into blocks. I cut it horizontally in maybe about a 3-inch thickness, and then again to make a block of clay that is maybe about 5 inches in width and 3 inches in height. Now, get into the habit of measuring your clay. I have two scales. Both of any scale works. One is an older scale that you might find at home, and one is a digital scale. Digital scales you can get on Amazon or somewhere online. Just get one that can read at least, I'd say, about 2 kilos or up to, I guess, like 25 pounds. So, the piece that you're using for the first round, the cylinders, should be about 1 to 2 pounds of clay. And this is about 2 pounds, a little over 2 pounds. And the smaller piece is about a pound and a little bit. So one is smaller, one is bigger. When you first start out, you should start out with different size bowls clays. The reason being, all of us, everyone has a different build. Our hand sizes are different. So some of you might feel comfortable touching a larger piece of clay. Some of you might be more comfortable touching a smaller piece of clay. When you start out throwing, you want to make things comfortable for you, and you have to figure out what that amount of clay is that is easy for you to control and center and make what is assigned. First project being cylinders. So I'm cutting the next piece of clay. Again, I'm starting out with cubes and pounding the corners in my hands, spinning the ball in my clay in my hand as I pound, and it takes a little practice, but once you get the hang of it, you should be able to make round balls of clay to start throwing on. As we move on, I'll show you how to wedge the clay, but for now, when you're starting out with a block of clay that you bought from a store, it's usually in a good condition. The clay has been de-aired, and the clay is relatively in the same consistency all throughout, so we can fast forward and skip the wedging for now and make balls of clay so you can start this way, so you can start working on the wheel right away. Make about 4 balls of clay, at least 4, maybe 5, 6 if you want, so that you don't have to go back and forth making balls of clay as you're working on the wheel. This way, while you work with 1 ball of clay, you can have 3 balls of clay ready to go next to you, and when you mess up or when you have a piece ready, then you can go right into the next ball of clay and keep on practicing.